A promise that changed everything. Mokpe was the only daughter of Ao and his wife, Ifeoma. They were a humble farming family, living in a small but peaceful village. Though life was not luxurious, they were content. However, they dreamed of a better future for their daughter. One where she would go to school and become a great woman. One day, Ao's elder sister, Tinuk, visited them from the city. She was well dressed, wearing expensive jewelry, and spoke of the grand life she lived. "Brother, why are you keeping Mokpe in this village when she can have a better life in the city?" she asked. "What do you mean?" Ao asked, his face full of curiosity. "I mean, let her come with me. I will take care of her as if she were my own daughter. She will go to the best schools, eat good food, and live comfortably. I promise she will not suffer in my hands." Ao and Ifeoma exchanged glances. They loved Mokpe dearly but wanted the best for her. "You promise she will be treated well?" Ifeoma asked with concern. "I give you my word," Tinuk said with a warm smile. After much thought, Ao and Ifeoma agreed, believing that Tinuk had Mokpe's best interests at heart. That evening, Mokpe packed her small bag, filled with excitement and a little fear. As she hugged her parents goodbye, they reassured her, "You are going to a better life, my daughter. Always remember that we love you." Little did they know, they were sending their child into the hands of a monster, the life of a slave. The moment Mokpe arrived at Tinuk's house in the city, her dreams were shattered. The kind words her aunt had spoken were all lies. Instead of being treated like a daughter, she was turned into a maid. "From now on, you will wake up before sunrise, sweep the house, cook, wash my children's clothes, and do everything I tell you," Tinuk commanded. "But auntie, you promised my parents." "Shut up," Tinuk snapped. "This is not your parents' house. If you speak back at me again, you will regret it." Fear gripped Mokpe's heart. She had no choice but to obey. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. While Tinuk's children went to school, Mokpe stayed at home, scrubbing floors and washing dishes. At night, she would cry silently, wishing she could go back to her parents, but things only got worse. One day, Mokpe accidentally spilled hot tea on the table while serving breakfast. Furious, Tinuk slapped her so hard that she fell to the ground. "You useless girl. Is this how you repay my kindness?" "I'm sorry, auntie," Mokpe sobbed. "Sorry for yourself," Tinuk hissed, dragging her outside. "No food for you today." Mokpe sat under the mango tree in the backyard, hungry and in pain. She wondered why her aunt hated her so much. The unforgivable punishment. One fateful afternoon, Mokpe was washing Tinuk's clothes when she mistakenly tore one of her expensive dresses. The moment Tinuk saw it, her eyes turned red with rage. "You foolish girl. Do you know how much that dress costs?" "Auntie, it was a mistake," Mokpe pleaded, her hands shaking. "A mistake, you say? I will teach you a lesson you will never forget." Before Mokpe could react, Tinuk grabbed a pot of boiling water from the stove and poured it over her face. Mokpe let out a blood-curdling scream as the burning liquid scorched her skin. She collapsed to the floor, wailing in agony. Neighbors rushed in to see what was happening. One of them, a woman named Momankechi, gasped at the sight. "Tinuk, what have you done?" she shouted. It was her fault. Tinuk defended herself. The neighbors disagreed. They called the police, and within hours, Tinuk was arrested. Mokpe was rushed to the hospital, but the damage was already done. Her once beautiful face was now scarred beyond recognition. Returning home, but not the same, when Ao and Ifeoma arrived at the hospital and saw their daughter, they wept bitterly. "Mokpe, my child," her mother cried, holding her close. Mokpe looked away, ashamed of her face. "Mama, I am no longer beautiful, my child. Your beauty is not in your face but in your heart," Ao reassured her. After weeks in the hospital, Mokpe returned home. But things were not the same. She was no longer the cheerful girl who had left months ago. People in the village whispered whenever they saw her, and children ran away in fear. The worst part was school. The moment she entered the classroom, students stared at her and began whispering, "She looks like a ghost. Who will ever marry her? Her face is scary." Mokpe sat alone, trying to hold back tears. No one wanted to be her friend, except for one girl. Her name was Jumoke. Unlike the others, she sat beside Mokpe, smiling warmly. "Hi, I'm Jumoke. Don't listen to them, okay?" Mokpe hesitated. "You're not afraid of me?" Jumoke shook her head. "Why should I be? You are just like me. Will you be my friend?" A smile broke through Mokpe's sadness. Yes, that was the beginning of a friendship that would change everything. An unexpected visit to the palace. One afternoon after school, Jumoke told Mokpe, "I need to stop by my cousin's house before going home." "Want to come?" Mokpe nodded. "I don't have anything to do at home, so I'll come with you." They walked for a long time until they reached a grand palace. Mokpe's eyes widened. "Palace? This is your cousin's house?" Jumoke laughed. "Yes. I never told you, I'm related to the king." The palace guards allowed them inside, and to Mokpe's shock, the king and queen welcomed her with open arms. The royal children, 2 girls and 1 boy, treated Mokpe kindly, laughing and playing with her as if they had known her forever. That day, Mokpe felt something she hadn't in a long time: happiness. From then on, every time Jumoke had a message for the king, she and Mokpe went together. The king's children grew fond of them, and soon, Mokpe became like family. Little did she know that one of them, Prince Ode, was beginning to see her in a way no one else did. This is a growing friendship. As the months passed, Mokpe became more comfortable visiting the palace. Each time she and Jumoke arrived, the royal children, Princess Adizwa, Princess Rank, and Prince Ode, welcomed them with open arms. Prince Ode, in particular, was always kind to Mokpe. He never treated her differently because of her face. When they sat together in the palace gardens, he would ask her about school, her dreams, and what she wanted for her future. At first, Mokpe thought he was just being polite, but as time went on, she realized something. Prince Ode genuinely enjoyed her company. One evening, after a long day of laughter and storytelling in the palace, Ode walked Mokpe and Jumoke to the palace gate. "Mokpe," he said, looking at her warmly, "you are one of the strongest people I know." Mokpe looked away, embarrassed. "How can you say that? Look at me. People see me and run away." Ode shook his head. "Not me. I see a girl who has been through so much and still stands tall. I admire you, Mokpe." His words stayed with her for a long time, whispers of love. As Mokpe and Ode grew closer, people in the palace began to notice. Servants whispered about how the prince seemed unusually fond of the village girl with the scarred face. "Why does Prince Ode spend so much time with her?" Some murmured, "Maybe he pities her." Others said, but Mokpe knew the truth. Ode treated her as an equal, never with pity. One day, as they sat in the palace courtyard, Mokpe turned to him and asked, "Why are you so kind to me?" Ode smiled. "Because I like being with you, Mokpe. You make me happy." Her heart pounded. Could it be possible that the prince, her friend, saw her as something more? Facing the world, despite her happiness in the palace, Mokpe still faced struggles in the outside world. In school, people still mocked her. "Why do you always run to the palace?" one boy sneered. "Do you think you belong there?" But Jumoke stood up for her. "Leave her alone," she snapped. Mokpe tried to ignore them, but deep inside, she still felt insecure. One evening, after a visit to the palace, she asked Ode, "Do you think I will ever be accepted?" Ode looked at her seriously. "You don't need the world to accept you, Mokpe. You just need to accept yourself." His words gave her strength, a love that cannot be denied. Years passed, and Mokpe and Ode finished secondary school. Mokpe went on to study midwifery, while Ode pursued a degree in business. Though they were in different universities, Ode never forgot her. He visited her often, spending weekends at her school, making her laugh and feel special. By the time they graduated, it was clear Ode was in love with her. One evening, he sat Mokpe down and took her hands in his. "Mokpe, I don't care what anyone says. I love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you." Mokpe's eyes filled with tears. "But Ode, your parents, the kingdom, will they accept me? I will make them accept you," Ode promised. The royal objection. When Ode told his parents about his love for Mokpe, the king and queen were stunned. "Ode," the king said, "we love Mokpe, but she is not fit to be your wife." "Why?" Ode challenged. "Because of her face," the queen sighed. "We just don't want people to mock our family. If you must marry her, at least help her regain her beauty." Ode saw an opportunity. "If I fix her face, will you approve?" The king and queen exchanged glances. "Yes," they said reluctantly. Ode rushed to tell Mokpe the news. "We will go to Turkey for surgery. I want you to see yourself the way I see you." Mokpe hesitated. "What if it doesn't work?" "It will," Ode said firmly. "And even if it doesn't, I will still marry you." A new beginning. Mokpe and Ode, with the help of the king, traveled to Turkey. The surgery was successful, and when Mokpe looked in the mirror for the first time, she gasped. She was beautiful. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Ode, I can't believe it," he smiled. "Believe it, my love." The wedding of the century. Back home, preparations for their wedding began. Invitations were sent, and the entire kingdom buzzed with excitement, but some people still whispered, "The prince is marrying an ugly girl," they said, unaware of Mokpe's transformation. On the wedding day, Mokpe walked down the aisle with her veil covering her face. When the pastor said, "You may kiss the bride," Ode lifted her veil. Gasps filled the room. "Who is this?" some people murmured. "Where is Mokpe?" But her family knew the truth. "She is the same Mokpe," her mother said, beaming with pride. At the back of the room, Tinuk, her wicked aunt, watched in shame. She had tried to destroy Mokpe, but now, Mokpe was royalty. As Ode kissed her, Mokpe smiled. She had finally found happiness, and so Mokpe's story became a legend, one of pain, resilience, and triumph. Thank you for watching this inspiring story of Mokpe, a tale of resilience, love, and triumph. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts below. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss more amazing stories like this. See you in the next video.